Hello everyone, I am Diljot Singh, Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today, I will be covering some of the important algorithms in artificial intelligence. So, to begin with, our first algorithm is breadth first search. Breadth first search is a graph traversal algorithm that starts traversing the graph from the root node and explore all its neighboring nodes. Then it selects the nearest node and explore all the unexplored nodes. The algorithm follows the same process for each of the nearest node until it finds the goal. So the algorithm of BFS is in front of you. This algorithm starts with examining the node A and all of its neighbors. In the next step, the neighbors of the nearest node of A are explored and the process continues in the further steps. The algorithm explores all the neighbors of all the nodes and ensures that each node is visited exactly once and no node is visited twice. So, the first one is uninformed search technique. Uninformed means we do not have any domain specific knowledge. For example, in informed search, the cost of going from A to B and the cost from B to the goal state, that is, from A to B and from B to the goal state, is already known in advance. But in uninformed search, we know that the cost needed to go from A to B, but we did not know whether B will take us to the goal state and with how many cost, right? So we do not have any information about this. This is known as uninformed search technique. So next is Q, FIFO. It is also called as FIFO, first in, first out. It uses the data structure Q. So implementing the BFS on the given tree, we always insert elements from the tail and exist from the head, right? Like, for example, we have this, right? So, if we have to remove A from the queue, right? We will first process this A. If we have to, means if we have to remove A from the queue, means we can, where the A can go, it can go to B, C, and D. A can go to B, A can go to C, A can go to D. We can write it in any order, that is DCB or CBD, any order. Here we will follow the same, that is BCD, right? So A, when is removed from the queue, it goes to B, C, and D. So we remove the B. Now CD will remain as it is. Now where B can go? B can go to E and F. B can go to E and F. So we'll write E, F. Next step, if we look at, if we want to remove the C, where C can go? C can go to G and Z. So D, E, F, and for the C we can write G and H. Right? Now we have to remove D. Where D can go? It can only go to I. So in the next step, we are removing the D, E, F, G, H, I, right? We also call this as the shallowest node. Here is the second point. We also call it as the shallowest node as it completes all the shallowest node by completing the level by level. Means first we are completing this level A, then we are completing the first this one after the A, B, C and D, then we are completing the E, F, G, H, I. So we are completing level by level. That is why it is also known as shallowest. Next, after we can traverse E, where E can go to J and K, right? If G, H, sorry, F, G, H, I, and for E we can write as J, K. Next, where F can go, it can go to L. G, H, I, J, K, G, H, I, J, K, and where F can go, it can go to L. Next, where G can go, G has nowhere to go, right? G has no nodes, so we will write H, I, J, K, L, right? Now H can also cannot go somewhere, so next is I, J, K and L. Now, where I can go to M, right? I can go to M. Next, we will write as J, K, L and M, right? It has only one node, so it can go to M. Now, where J can go, J cannot go anywhere because it has no nodes. So it comes K, L, M, right? Now, where K can go to N. Next is L, M, and for the K we write it as N, right? So L cannot go anywhere. Next comes M and N. Again, M has no children, so we are left with N. So we call this as a complete because all the levels are completed and it will definitely give the answer, right? We are traversing we are traversing each and every node, right? So it will definitely give some answer. It is a breadth first search. We traverse it like this by going from A, then coming back, then B, C, D, then coming back, then E, F, G, H, I, then J, K, L, M, and afterwards N, right? So it is a Q and A is inserted, right? So, yeah, one more very important point. It will always give the optimal results. This algo BFS will always give the optimal results. Our second algo is depth first search. Depth first search algo starts with the initial node of the graph G and then goes deeper and deeper until we find the goal node or the node which has no children. The algorithm then backtracks from the dead end towards the most recent node that is yet to be completely unexplored. Here, the word backtrack means that when we are moving forward and there are no more nodes along the current path, we move backwards on the same path to find nodes to traverse. All the nodes will be visited on the current path till all the unvisited nodes have been traversed, after which the next path will be selected. The data structure which is being used in DFS is stack. The process is similar to BFS algo, that is breadth first search algorithm, but in depth first search, the edges which leads to an unvisited nodes are called discovery edges, while the edges that leads to an already visited node are called block edges. So starting with, as we have done in the last algorithm, in depth first search, it is also uninformed search technique. Uninformed means we do not have any domain specific knowledge. For example, in informed search, the cost of going from A to B is known and B to the goal state is also known. But in uninformed search technique, the cost of going from A to B is known, but we are not sure that whether B will take us to the goal state or not, and that too with how much cost. So we do not have any information. This is known as blind search or uninformed search technique. Coming to the next, stack, LIFO. It is also called LIFO, last in, first out. It uses the data structure stack. We will start by traveling or traversing A, that is our start node, and from A where it can go. It can go either to B or C. A can go either to B or A can go either to C. So we keep that in stack. We can either put B, or sorry, C or B, or we can put B and then C, right? So it is totally our choice. The sequence can be multiple, but the logic or the concepts remains the same. That is, it works on the logic of deepest node, right? It goes to the deep when it reaches the last node or the deep node, and if it does not found the goal state, then it backtracks. Whereas in breadth first search works on the shallow node, right? So it works on the deepest node. Means it goes from A to B, B to D. The deepest node, or A to C, C to G, any pattern we can follow, any pattern we can follow. So it works on the deepest node. Yeah. Suppose I follow the first one. So uh, I follow this one. First A traverses to C and then to B. So we have pushed, for example, we are following this pattern. So we have pushed C first, and this is last in, first out. So C will be pop out first and B will remain as it is. And if C is popped out, then we have two options, that is F and G, right? So, and now we have to traverse G, and after traversing G, G doesn't lead to any other node. We will backtrack and then we will go to F. And after F, F also does not have any children. So we'll again backtrack and then we will go to B. After reaching the B, B was pushed in. So B will be popped out first, and after B will be popped out, we will be having D and E. We will be having D and E. So if there is any other node, then we'll first traverse E, and if there is any other node after E, then we'll process it, or we'll backtrack it, and we'll go to the finally our node D. So we'll push out E, and last we have the node D. One of the DFS sequence is possible, and we can follow it at any way. For example, after A, we can process B like this pattern, and then we go to D, and after D, we don't have any children, we'll backtrack it, we'll go to E, then again backtrack it, goes to C, G and F, again we'll process or traverse G, then again backtrack it, and we'll go to F. Means we can follow any number of patterns, there is no restriction, but our concept remains the same. So this algo is incomplete. Incomplete means in BFS that was complete. BFS is complete, whereas DFS, this algo is incomplete. It is not possible that BFS was every time BFS was having a solution, whereas it is not possible in depth first search. So it is also possible that we have cycles in the graph and it's stuck in between them, or our search space is infinite. That is, we have infinite numbers of nodes after G, and it traverses its one side only, and maybe we have the possible solution on the other side. We have the desired output on the other side. So this is incomplete and may not give the solution. It is also non-optimal. Non-optimal means it can give the solution that is non-optimal. Means it is not necessary that it will give the optimal result. Therefore, there can be results that is much optimal than DFS. So in BFS, whereas breadth first search was always give the optimal solution, and DFS will give the non-optimal solution. So our third algorithm is Minimax algo. Minimax algo is backtracking algo. Backtracking algorithm means we first traverse from root level to the leaf level or terminal level, and then calculate the values at the terminal level, and then we propagate the calculated values at the root level, and then we decide which move we should choose. It is very important point. Like, first we have to traverse this algorithm. For example, this is the root node and I have to traverse it. So I am having two options, either go to B or C, and I'm having only one move. So if I traverse from leaf to the terminal level, this is the terminal level, I will calculate the values here at the terminal level, and I propagate through the calculated values at the root level that which move should I choose. So there is one important question which is oftenly asked, that why should we not use a BFS in game playing? That is, why breadth first search is not used in game playing. So the answer is very simple, that if I'm playing at A, right? And I'll be having two choices. Either I can go to B or I can go to C. So obviously I have only one move. Whereas BFS follows level order, means it follows all the nodes at all the levels, and we cannot permit it in a game playing. For example, if I'm here, I'll process this level, then I'll go to this level, then I'll go to this level. I have to process all the levels, and then, but in game playing, it is not possible. It is not feasible. So once you are done with your turn, the next turn is of your opponent. So we use the concept of backtracking. Now, second is best move strategy used. Best move strategy used means, for example, there are two players, you and me. So my priority will be to give the best move which will help me to win, and this will be the same priority of the other person, that is my opponent or computer. This is actually the main concept of game playing. One side human being and other side is the machine, and the machine is trained in such a way that it beats the humans. So if I'm playing as a human being, I will try to give the best move in order to win, and so the computer will do in order to defeat me. So we use the best move strategy. Like, I will be choosing the best moves to win, and similarly the computer will choose his best move to defeat me or to win himself. So at root level A, we have two choices. Either we can go to B or we can go to C. If I chooses B, for example, I chooses B. So now it's the min turn. I'm playing as a max. I have done my turn. Now it's the min turn. So min will do its turn, and simply we have to play like this. Again, I'll be having my turn as a max. Again, min will be having its turn, and so on. So we choose one move, and now it's a time for the opponent. Again we choose a move, and again it's a time for the opponent, and so on. So A is our turn, that is the max turn, and after that it will be the turn of min, then again max. We can see that at the terminal level we are having two options for D. That's where the main concept of backtracking comes. We have two options of at the terminal level for D. One is -1 and the other one is 8. So as we know, to maximize our profit, to maximize our utility, we will choose the maximum one. But we are not sure that if we will follow the path A, B, D and this, we will win, because we are only sure of our turn, that is one turn of max. And what will be our next to next turn will depend upon the turn of the min. That is, what min will do its turn, then only we can proceed, we can do our next turn. So we cannot sure that if we'll follow the path A, B, D and this, that is it is having the maximum utility, maximum share at the terminal level, we'll definitely win. So at A we are having two options, B and C. At B we again have two options, D and E. And at D we are again having two options, -1 and 8. So for D we'll choose between these two, and as you know, D has maximum share, that is 8, right? So D is having maximum share 8. So D will choose this path to maximize its utility or its profit. Similar is the case with E. E is having two paths, -3 and -1. Although he is suffering with loss on both the sides, that is, he is suffering from with -3 also and -1 also. But the loss with -1 is less, so it will choose -1. It will choose -1. So coming to next F, it is having two options, 2 and 1. Obviously, the best one is 2. And coming to next G, it is having two options, 1 and 4. So The better option is 4. So now it's the turn of the min, right? Min will decide which turn it has to give or which turn it should choose, whether it goes to D or it goes to E. Similar is the case with C. It has to decide whether to go to F or to G. So min will try to maximize its utility and minimize hours. So min will definitely choose the minimum value. We are having two values 8 and -1. So min will go to E, that is it will choose -1. Similar is the case with C. It will also choose the minimum value, that is 2. So again it's our turn, that is max turn. We are again having now two options whether to go to B or C. If we'll go to B, our profit will be -1. That is, we will lose. And if we will go to C, although our profit is less, but we will definitely win. So it will choose C. So the path will be from A to C, C to F, and F to here. This, if we'll do a turn like this, the probability of winning is definitely much higher. So in this way, the minimax algo works. That is, if it goes from A to C, then F, and if it follow this path, then it is guaranteed that it will win, and its profit or the share will be 2. Its utility will be 2. So this is how minimax algo works. Thank you. So our next algorithm is alpha beta pruning. Alpha beta pruning is a modified version of minimax algorithm. It is an optimization technique for the minimax algorithm, as we have seen that in the minimax search algorithm that the number of game states it has to examine are exponential in depth of the tree. Since we cannot eliminate the exponent, but we can cut it to half. Hence, there is a technique by which, without checking each node of the game tree, we can compute the correct minimax decision, and this technique is called pruning. What is pruning? Pruning is cut-off search by exploring less number of nodes. That is cut-off. We'll have to reduce the number of nodes we have to scan or explore. So this involves two threshold parameters, alpha and beta, for future expansion. So it is called alpha beta pruning. It is also called alpha beta algorithm. So alpha beta pruning can be applied at any length of a tree, and sometimes it not only prune the tree leaves but also the entire subtree. The two parameters can be defined as, first one is alpha, that is max, the best choice we have found so far at any point along the path of maximizer, that is max, and we usually name alpha for the max and beta for min. And the second is beta, the best choice we have found so far an ending point along the path of a minimizer, that is for the min. The alpha beta pruning to a standard minimax algo returns the same move as the standard algo does, but it removes all the nodes which are not affecting the final decision but making the algorithm slow. Hence, by pruning these nodes, it makes the algorithm fast. Most important point here is that is cut off the search by exploring less number of nodes. Means we will cut off the search, we'll cut off the nodes that are not useful to us or that does not makes any impact on the answer. So right, generally we consider alpha for the max and beta for the min. As it is in game playing, we will do our turn as a max and the opponent, that is the computer, will do what his turn is min. So again max and again here min, and after that it is terminal. By exploring less nodes, our time will be less and definitely our performance will be enhanced. Our performance will be boosted up and time required for it will be less. How we do this? We do it if we have found a path, for example, the best path, then we will prune the rest of the nodes. That is, we will not be visiting them because they will not create any problem in our final decision. So let's consider this game tree. We have taken max for alpha, min for beta, again alpha for max and beta for min, and the last one is our terminal nodes, right? So it is when we are considering from this way, that is depth first search, we will see at the terminal level that what is the first value, put this value in the beta. So here min will be or the beta will be 3. One second. Here beta will be 3. So after traversing these two nodes, the value of beta comes to be 3, and we put the same value, that is the min value in the alpha. So we put the same value of 3 to alpha, right? So now alpha becomes 3. Now we'll again go to this node, and here the min value by traversing these two nodes will be, first we put beta equals to 2 by, we put beta equals to 2 by traversing this node, right? So the min value of beta here is 2, and here we need the max value. So we will compare 3 with 2. So although alpha is having the higher value than this beta, right? We have to compare these two nodes, and right now alpha is having a higher value than this beta. So we put 2 here, but we will not put, now we will not traverse this node. We will not traverse this node as beta is 2 here and we need the max value, and from here it will give the min value, and here alpha is 3. So we will prune this node, that is we will cut this node. So giving beta equals to 3, putting the beta equals to 3 here, right? Now we'll traverse these two nodes. From these two, we have to calculate the min value at the beta. So 7 is the min value. Here we put 7 as beta. So the min value of here of the beta will be 7. And
again we put the same value of beta in the alpha, means we will have maximum of either 3 or 7 here. uh, for example, sorry, we'll have a maximum of 7. Alpha maximum value will be 7 or greater than 7, right? So coming to this min, when I came to know that the maximum value of alpha here is 7 and here is 3, so I have to calculate, I have to take the min value. So as I can see that 3 is minimum than 7, so it will not traverse all these nodes. It will not traverse all these nodes, because although the value here can be 1000 or any, but we have to take the minimum value at beta. So the minimum value at beta is 3. So we will prune these nodes. We will not calculate these nodes, as it will not affect our final decision. Right? So here the value at min of the beta is 3. So again we put here 3. We put the value of alpha equals to 3, means here alpha will be benefited or will be have a priority, will have a utility of 3 here, right? So coming to this node, 2, from 2 and 11, we are at the leaf node, that is terminal node. From 2 and 11, the min value we have to calculate the min, so the min value will be 2. Here the min value is 2, right? Now putting the value 2 in the alpha, let alpha be 2. So the maximum value of alpha here is 2. That is, by exploring this nodes, we came to know that alpha can be 2 or greater than 2, right? So by exploring these two nodes, the min value comes to be 1. The min value here comes to be 1, right? Because 1 is smaller than 12. So by looking at these, we have to take the max value, right? But max value is 2. Here alpha is 2. That is, I do not have to consider this node. I have to prune this node, as this will not affect my final decision. My final answer will not be affected by it if I will cut these nodes, if I will prune these nodes, right? So here alpha, the maximum value is 2. So transferring these value in beta, so now our beta becomes 2, means the minimum value will be 2 or less than 2, right? Here, after traversing this side, we came to know that our minimum value will be either 2 or less than 2. And when we compare these two, when I come to this here max alpha is 3, means I'm already having a value of 3 and my value will be 3 or greater than 3. And while looking at this, means the minimum value will be here, the minimum value will be 2. And if this side, whole this side, if whole this side will be having, if whole this side will be having any value, right? This whole side will be having any value, might be thousands or any number of values. I need not to worry, I need not to consider it, because here it will take the minimum value and 2 is already the minimum, right? So here the value can be either 2 or less than 2. If it the value of beta can be 1 here, but at max we have to consider the max value, and already 3 is here, that is from 2 and 3 is maximum. We are already having the maximum value, and after exploring, if we want to, exploring all these nodes, the value can be either 2 or less than 2. So we will prune all these nodes, means we do not have to calculate the value at these nodes, because we are already having a value 2 as the min, and here max, we'll be comparing these two, and max will be 3 as from this side. So we need not to consider these. We'll prune this. It will help to save our time and increase our performance also. So alpha beta pruning method is very useful in game playing, as our performance is enhanced and our time consuming, it consumes less time. So it is very beneficial to work on these alpha beta pruning method.
So, our next algorithm is A star algorithm. AI helps us to solve problems of various complexities. Computational problems like path searching problems can be solved using AI. Search problems where we need to find a path from one point to another, say from point A to point B. Sometimes we need to solve it by mapping those problems to graphs where all the possible outcomes are represented by nodes. A-star algorithm comes up with an answer to all these problems. Now, A-star was initially designed as a general graph traversal algorithm. It is widely used in solving pathfinding problems in video games. Because of its flexibility and versatility, it can be used in a wide range of contexts. A star is formulated with weighted graphs, which means it can find the best path involving the smallest cost in terms of distance and time. Thus, makes A star an informed search algorithm for best first search. A-star search uses heuristic function and cost to reach the node n from the start node, from the start state, that is Gn. A-star search algorithm finds the shortest path through the search space using the heuristic function. This space algorithm expands less search tree and provides optimal results faster. In A-star algorithm, we use search heuristic as well as the cost to reach the node. Now an important term, that is heuristic. A heuristic function that helps rank the alternatives given in a search algorithm at each of the steps. Essentially, a heuristic function helps algorithms to make the best decisions faster and more efficiently. So, a heuristic function is a consistent if the estimate of the given heuristic function turns out to be equal or less than the distance between the goal and neighbor and the cost calculated to reach the neighbor. So, A-star algorithm is a part of informed searching technique. Informed searching technique means that I have beforehand knowledge of the problem, and that knowledge is known as the heuristic, in which we have an estimate of the goal state in our mind, whereas the opposite of informed, that is uninformed search technique, that we have done in the previous algorithms in BFS and DFS,
Both uses uninformed searching technique in that we do not have any knowledge of the goal state, in which we only know about the current state, and where the current state is taking us we have no idea in uninformed search technique. We do not have any idea of the heuristic or estimation. So the main funda of A star algorithm lies in Fn equals to Gn plus Hn. So all the A star algorithm revolves around this equation only, where Fn we have to find, right? So Gn is the actual cost from the start node to n, and Hn is the estimation cost from the n to goal node. So if we are clear with this equation, we are almost done with A star algorithm. So for example, we have to go from start node to goal state, and in between we have n number of nodes, right? From start node we have to go to goal node, and in between we have n number of nodes. So if I have to go from S to N, what is S to N? It is the actual cost that from the start node to N, and from N to G it is the estimation cost, that is the heuristic. It is not actual, but it is an estimation cost from N to G. For example, all the nodes are taking me to the goal state. Like this node is also taking me to the goal state from n. This node is also taking me from the goal, from the n node to goal. This node is also taking me from the n to goal. This also, this also. But at what cost? So the optimal cost, that is known as heuristic. So starting with uh, A star algorithm, the star means it is admissible. Admissible means it guarantees that it will find the optimal solution. So star in A star algorithm means that it will find the optimal solution. So we begin with this Fn equals to Gn plus Hn. For example, this is S. This is our start node, and this is G. This is our goal state. From start, I have to reach to the goal, and what is in between B, F, C, D, E. These are my N, right? So I have to reach from S to G, and in between it is N number of nodes like D, C, B, F, E. So the actual cost from S to B is 4. That is the cost from going from S to B is 4, and its heuristic is 12. That is, B is telling to S that I will take you to the goal state at a cost of 12. Similarly, the cost from S to C is 3, C to 10, C to E is 10, C to D is 7, and so on. The numbers in red like 12, 11, 4, 6, 11, and 14, these are the heuristic values. These are the estimations and not the real or the actual values. So I have to start with S, start node, and I have to reach G, that is the goal node, and in between are the nodes, right? The intermediate node. So from going from S to B, it is actual value is 4 and its heuristic will be 12. So let's calculate the heuristic at S. So f of S equals to uh, actual cost from start node to end, like actual cost from S to S, that will be 0, as going from S to S will not take any cost. And what it will, the heuristic of S is 14. So answer comes to be 14. So if I want to calculate from S, I can go to either to B or to C. For example, if I go from S to B, or I can go from S to C, right? So the cost from going from S to B is the actual cost. Here is 3. The actual cost is from going from S to B is 4. S to B is 4, and its heuristic is 12. 4 plus 12, right? That comes out to be 16. And from going S to C, that is 3 plus 11, that comes out to be 14. So we have to take the minimum cost, that is we will move from S to C. Means we have two paths, that is either we can go from S, as S to C is minimal optimal, so either we can go to SC to E or SC to D. So let's explore these. From SC to from SC to E, or we can go from SC to D, right? If we go from SC to E, if we go from SC to E, so its actual cost from S to C is 3, and the actual cost from S to C is 3, and from C to D, that is from C to E is 10, and the heuristic of E is 4, that is 3 plus 10 13 plus 4, that comes out to be 17. So if I calculate the other cost, that is from SC to D, from S to C, it's 3 plus from C to D, that is C to D, that is 7, and heuristic value of D is 6, that comes out to be 16. So from while traveling from S to C and C to D, that comes out to be 16, while from going from S to B, that also is 16. So we have both these optimal values. So we'll go again now from SB to F, and from SB to E, right? So the cost from SB to F, S is 4 plus 5 9, it's 4 plus 5, that will be SB to F, right? That is 4 plus 5, 9 plus the estimation of, sorry, the heuristic value at F, that is 11, right? While going from SB to E, S to B is 4, B to E is 12, and the heuristic at E will be 4. So this comes out to be 4 plus 5, 9, 20, and next also it comes out to be 20. So these both values are same, both can be optimal. So as these both costs are same and greater than what we have searched before, that is from SC to D or SB, so we'll not consider that. Now we'll consider the value, that is we'll go from SC, D and E. We'll follow this path SCE, SCD and E, sorry. Now we will follow SCD, that goes to E, right? So the actual cost from SC to D is, S to C is 3 plus C to D is 7 plus D to E is 2, and the heuristic cost at E is 4. That comes out to be 16. So it is again an optimal value. Next, now again, if I'm at E, now I have to explore the other one. I will explore S, C, D, E, S, C, S, C, D, E, which will take us to G, goal state. So S to C is 3, S to C is 3 plus C to D is 7 plus D to E is 2 plus E to G is 5, and the heuristic at value, sorry, that comes out to be 17. So again we have found that from while going from S to C, C to D, D to E and E to G, the values come out to be 17. So again we'll traverse the remaining one. The last value, that is from S to B, S to B, B to F and F to G. S, B, F, that will take us to the goal state, right? So here S to B is 4, B to G, sorry, B to F, B to F is 5, F to G is 16, and it comes out to be 25. So the minimum value which will take us from the start node, or the optimal value which will take us from the start node to the goal state, is this path, that is the value is 17, and the path will be S, C, D, E, G. So this is the optimal path that we should follow if we want to reach from start to the whole state. Thank you, class.